Okay, obviously we started things off gapped up today. We're looking at the SPY chart here. We had a clear gap and go day after a gap and go day last week. There's a lot going on this week. There's FOMC Wednesday. There's earnings with several of the Mag 7s. So I probably won't be covering any of the stocks that have earnings this week just due to IV on those options. I wouldn't want to trade them. So at the end of the day today, SPY did give us a spike in price, and all the spike is at the end of the day, when there's a spike up in price that causes a single print in market profile, it's considered a spike. It's just a bullish data point that you carry forward. In theory, the next day, if price does pull back to that spike base, it should hold if the bullish run is going to hold. So it's just something to mark out there. Um, so for tomorrow, if for some reason, if we catch any lower highs below 683.35, I would start looking at the possibility of closing this gap below there. As of right now, after hours, we are actually slightly gapped up from the high today. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, any pullback holds. I mean, there really isn't any strong levels today. I just grabbed a quick level off the 15-minute chart because I want to have something to work with. But you got this spike, and then there was a level on the 15-minute chart, 683.35. I would just look for continuation over yesterday high day, or if we get below this level with a lower high, start looking at a gap fill over there. And then once that gap fills, we'll start looking for a gap fill, then reversal. So once it got to Friday's high day, I would start looking for the possibility of a reversal back long, depending on what price is doing, what market internals are doing. It's basically the same story over on QQQ. There really is no difference over here. You're looking for the same exact things. As far as getting below 625.55 with a lower high, I would start looking at the possibility of a gap fill and definitely a lower high below 624.50. IWM, on the other hand, wasn't quite as bullish today. It did start gapped up, but immediately filled. And there is another gap left behind to fill over here, which it really looks like it's starting to set up to do. You can actually kind of see a head and shoulders pattern starting to form on the hourly chart. See shoulder here, head here, potential shoulder here. So if we catch that, get below with a lower high, I would definitely look to target at least a partial gap fill of 248.25, if not the entire gap down to 247.10. Um, let's look at Nvidia. And those end of day runs were really all with, it was really Apple. And Apple has earnings this week, so I'm not messing with it. Here on Nvidia, we got a new level 191.35. What I'd be looking for tomorrow, basically, if we get any consolidation in here and then a lower high above, I would be looking to go back up towards 195.25 to the long side here. Let's look at Palantir. Palantir was a big disappointment today. I did actually buy calls right at open, which, as you can see, this was like this whole 1 hour candle here was basically the first 2 minutes. So it went straight up to 192.85 in the first from it went from 189 to 192.25 in the first 2 minutes. Um, and then if you come down here, let's look at the 2 minute chart. All right, this is super messy to look at. Let me get some more time. Hold on. All right. You can see this first 2 minute candle. I guess it didn't go all the way up there, but that first 2 minute candle was pretty large. Um, I held, okay, here's where I sold. I held through all this consolidation, which was basically for like an hour and a half, and then it broke out here, and we had massive volume on this breakout candle here, and it immediately started coming back down. And with that selling volume, with that massive volume coming into it, I just sold right there because really it should have just been shooting straight up because we're breaking out of a multi-week bounce range. So the only hope left for Palantir with this trade, if we get a gap fill, then reversal long, I would still be interested in it. If that fails, then I would forget Palantir for now. It didn't have a catalyst to support this breakout today. And it does have earnings next week, so it might be until then and I might end up missing it because of earnings. AMD um gapped up. I guess it gapped up on Friday. Didn't so much today. But what I'd be looking for on AMD is any pullbacks to 252.75 tomorrow that hold to go long on that. Tesla, another disappointment today. I'll show why it was basically a failed breakout is, let me zoom in a little here. You can see the daily candle, it broke above, but then closed back below this 453.55 line, which kind of sucks. But we'll see if we can get a higher low back above 453.55 tomorrow with some volume, with some up movement in the XLY sector. Um, then it could be good for a decent long. Um, any higher low above 453.55, or if it opens way up here, maybe above 458.10. Next levels up, 466.25, 480.25, then all-time highs. So it's got quite a bit of room to make a run. If it does get back below this 448.65, I would probably go ahead and put this trade on the back burner. Here we got MU, which has just been on a tear. Um, Look for a pullback hold of 217.90 to go long. On that one is really all I'd be looking for. Let's look at IBM, which has just been on a crazy ass tear as well. For IBM, I'm looking for a retest of 309.85. So pullback retest 309.85 long. Obviously, what you're looking for when this happens is you're looking for like a pullback and then a 2 minute, 5 minute hammer candle that holds there, and then SPY, QQQ uptrending at the same time, market internal showing uptrend at the same time. Another one I kind of like is GM's higher low over 69, a higher low over 69.65. It has got this bullish 3 bar play. You can see this hammer candle on a daily today, and then on Friday, this huge green candle, and we're holding the top end. It's basically a bull flag. If you look out on the weekly chart here, let me look at more time. You can see we're just breaking up over all-time highs from many years ago. So looks like it's setting up to do some big things quite potentially. Um, that's all I've got as far as charts to look at for right now. Just FOMC Wednesday and then all kinds of earnings all week long. Stay green, keep risk management at the top of your mind.